Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I just got done reading the new Android 17 and fell asleep. Greetings Internet, DDA here, and like I said, I just got done reading the new 17 personality starter set that's going to come out with the red Ruthless Mastery and the new Set 4 Evolution starter decks. So, not trying to knock the power of this guy, because I definitely don't think he's going to be a weak personality. He's going to be one of the strongest personalities in the game, only probably being surpassed by Goku, although that doesn't make much sense. I'm just speculating that Goku's going to be the strongest, although it doesn't make much sense because he did get the heart disease during this time. And 17 was the force to be reckoned with. Everyone was trying to beat 17 throughout the series. Piccolo had that nice, long, awesome fight against him. I'm sure there are a lot of 17 fans out there that were looking forward to this guy, and I was one of them. But personally, after reading him, I felt like they could have done a little bit better to make him a little more interesting, a little more interactive. He kind of only revolves around one card, which is Android 17's van. I think they could have given him a little bit more defined niche. I mean, they made him anti-ally, which is, something that already existed in the game. We have Nappa. Nappa's a little bit more of a control beatdown personality because while he is anti-ally, he also is anti-setup and anti-leveling with his named card, Nappa's charge or whatever it is, the one that sets them to 0 when they level. But they made Android 17 straight anti-ally, and he's going to do it really well. So let's just go over Android 17 and how his personalities are going to work with his name cards. So Android 17 Judgmental is, again, he's one of the strongest personalities in the game. He's actually a D. Trunks he's one of the only personalities to reach a D bracket on his level 1. Trunks does as well, but Trunks only reaches the D in his top bracket, whereas 17 is going to be in D in both the top and the 9th bracket. So he's going to be in a D on an extra stage on his level 1, which goes along great with his personality power. So his power is a physical attack doing AT +1 stage, similar to Trunks, but then automatically you're going to be able to search out either the Android 17's van from either your life deck or discard pile. So what does Android 17's van do, and why do you want to search it out first turn of every game? Android 17's van is gonna banish 2 allies in play. It's a setup, so when you use it, you're going to banish 2 allies, and it's not your opponent's allies, so you're going to have to banish your own allies if you have allies in play. Then as a secondary, if you don't control any allies, you're going to be able to search any zone, your life deck, banish zone, or discard pile for an ally with Android in the title and place it into play. So this means that if you happen to already have an Android ally in play, you're going to have to banish that ally, but then you will be able to then search out that ally either again or trade the ally out for a different Android ally. So it's possible for you to be able to, if you have one of the allies in play, to then use its power and then banish it to get the other Android ally in play to utilize both powers in combat. Since both the level 1 and level 2 of 17 search out Android 17's van, we're going to want to go over the allies because they're going to be an integral part of your 17 deck. Android 18 Smirking has a lot of feels from the old Android 14 that allowed you to just drop cards from your hand in order to perform physical attacks for +2 life cards. This is a very similar ability, and if your MP is 17, you're going to be able to take control with Android 18 to do her power regardless of 17's power stage. And then, once per combat, you're going to be able to drop a card from your hand in order to perform a physical attack doing 2 life cards. Now this can turn any unusable card in your hand into a kind of like weak, damaged physical, but really the synergy comes in once you read the Red Mastery. With the Red Mastery, you're going to be able to set up basically the top card of your discard pile. And since the new Red Mastery plays an attack from the top of your discard pile, Android 18 is going to enable all those cards in your hand that activate only when the attack is played from the top of your discard pile with the Mastery. So alternatively, if you don't want to use the Android 18 ally, Android 20 is your other option right now that's been released, and he makes it so that all attacks performed by personalities with Android in the title are unpreventable, which is just excellent. If you're talking about building a 17 beatdown deck, then basically Android 20 is going to give you Turles's power. Now granted, activating another Android 17's van, causing Android 20 to leave play, will cause your 17 personality to lose 3 stages. And this is not to a minimum of 0, so you may have to take damage from this ability. So the only other ally that we don't know what does yet is Android 19, so that may add some other element to the Android 17 setup. In the old game, Android 19 traditionally was really strong against energy attacks, energy blocks he had, which made him, was represented in the show by having, his energy absorption that he did with his hands. So maybe Android 19 will have some sort of block for Android 17. So this is kind of what I mean when I say this personality is a little boring. Your whole niche, your whole point of the deck is going to be around this one card, Android 17's van, and it's going to be around playing with allies, having them enter and exit play over and over again. Not a bad thing to do, but I'm not sure if a lot of people were expecting 17 to be doing that, because I don't think in the show he didn't really rely on his allies. He kind of was a loner. He just kind of beat up other people ruthlessly, which I'm sure Android 17 will be doing with how strong he is. He is, again, one of the strongest personalities in the game, so his AT damage will be very high. The level 2 is a continuation of this, Android 17 imposing. He's fairly strong and actually in the E bracket in his top two stages, and he has a physical attack that destroys an ally, doing AT plus 3 damage, and if it hits, you're going to be able to search your discard pile or banish zone for, again, the van and place it into play. So both the level 1 and the level 2 revolve around, getting this van card out and the banishing of allies. So both the level 1 and the level 2 of 17 revolve around getting the van out and the banishing of allies. And I can tell you right now that this card, this MP set coming into the meta, I thought that Nappa was going to do a really good job of curbing the Ginyu decks, and I think it did, but I just don't think a lot of people played Nappa. A lot of people just didn't like Nappa, didn't like to play him, and I think that's going to be different with 17. A lot of people are looking for 17. They want to play him. He was a freaking badass in the show. I mean, really cool, which is why I was so hyped for this personality set, and which is why I was a little let down by it. I think they had some potential here with the level 2. It destroys an ally. So why are we destroying an ally? We already are manipulating allies with Android 17's van. Why do I need another ally destruction ability? It does do AT plus 3, which given how strong he is as a personality, this can hit really hard. Moving on to the level 3, Android 17's Battle Ready is probably the best level that Android 17 has to offer. It's an energy attack costing nothing for 6 life cards, and it has an immediate effect that no damage can be redirected to allies for the remainder of combat. So for the remainder of combat, you're going to be straight shooting at your MP regardless. You're going to be able to shoot straight for his life and then discard all of his allies by critical damage effects. If they happen to be in play, I mean, you just use Android 17's van 9 times with his level 1 and his level 2 power. If the van is in play, this attack's going to be unpreventable, which is just great because it's going to guarantee critical damage. They're probably going to want to stop this attack, especially if it's unpreventable. 6 life cards, unpreventable. I mean, it's not unstoppable, it's not a destructo disc, but it's the second best thing we got. He is very strong, but his power level is pretty much straight compared to Trunks. Moving on to the level 4, Android 17 in action. His power is kind of questionable. It's actually pretty cool. It's unique. And which is kind of a little sad because its power level is questionable. It's actually what it's going to give you in combat is questionable, especially for a level 4. But it's the most unique ability that he got, and it's just an interesting ability. So he has a constant ability. Your physical attacks are going to be doing plus X stages, where X equals the number of allies in your opponent's banish zone, which, after using Android 17's van about, 19 times, you're going to be able to have a lot of allies in the banish zone. But granted, since Android 17 is coming out and Nappa exists, no one's going to play allies, so that's never going to happen. Unless, of course, you're playing the new Blue Mastery, or your name is Matthew Lowe. But the cool part of this ability is that your physical attacks can only be stopped by physical combat cards. And guys, there are a lot of options, a lot of things that this power is going to blow straight through. You know, there's the Burning Aura Drill, Time is a Warrior's Tool, Namekian Hybrid Defense. Anything that's not, Nail's Heritage, anything that's not a physical combat card and a hard physical block is just not going to be able to be used against all of your attacks. And the second part of his power, when entering combat, search your Banished Zone for Android 17's Van and place it into play, which is of course exactly what we needed after we used Android 17's Van 30 times in the previous combats. Bottom line, play Android 17, hope your opponent plays allies, and remove all of his allies from the game, I guess, and do lots of damage. I don't know. A thing that I really don't like about this level, and probably my main problem with the level, other than him being, extremely boring and revolving around one single use of a single card over and over and over again, is that he's an android. The whole thing about androids were they just had unlimited energy. He just never, and that's the reason he beat Piccolo. Because against Piccolo was stronger than him. All right, he kicked his ass, and that was one of the greatest fights. But Android 17 ended up, gaining the advantage over Piccolo because he had unlimited energy. Piccolo just could not keep up with him. And this power, this level 4, he drops off so hard. His power level, it goes lower and lower and lower, just really quickly. He does reach D at 2 above 0. Then he doesn't reach E until 5 above 0, and then similar to Trunks, he's in F at his top 3 stages. Now if you compare that to Trunks, who reaches E at his 2 above, then there's no comparison. Trunks is a powerhouse. He gets +5 stages to everything. You could hope that the opponent has 5 allies in his Banished Zone, but in 90% of the matchups that you play, you're not going to be facing allies, you're not going to be getting allies in the Banished Zone. So really, certainly end game, you're not really going to care if Android 17's Van is in play, unless you really want that, Android 20 to push out. Android 20 is going to be Android 17's saving grace, the no prevention. Android 18 is going to allow for combos with the Red Ruthless Mastery, which we'll go over in a little bit. So, is Android 17 going to be good? Yes, he's going to be effective because he's a strong personality with physical attacks on his early levels. Is he going to be fun? Maybe, if you like manipulating allies in play, like your own allies in play, just removing and bringing them out over and over again. Personally, I'm not going to touch him. But the moment we've all been waiting for is this Red Mastery. And let me tell you how excited I am about this Red Mastery. Oh boy, awesome stuff is coming out here. I love Red. In the current Red style, I play a lot of Red Garlic. I played Red Turles. I think Red Goku's extremely strong. MPPV and drill manipulation. There's a lot of sleeper OP. I think Red is the sleeper OP style right now. It's OP, and people don't realize it. They're like, Red, really? Are you sure? Yeah, Red is that good. It's got restriction, it's got left bulb, it's got strong answers to wall breaker, it's got card advantage, and this aggro-based mastery is just going to send Red over the top. So in comparison, the old mastery, the current mastery, is going to be your MPPV mastery. You're gaining anger whenever you're critical. You're drawing extra cards. You're cycling your hand. You're cycling and increasing the value of your hand, getting better cards into your hand. So that's the MPPV mastery. You're going to be able to, discard those awesome red setups that you play to gain 2 anger every time to have, the cards that are actually usable in combat with that red mastery. That's not what this mastery does. This mastery has a lot of feels from the old Cell Saga red mastery. It's when entering combat, you're going to banish the top card of your discard pile, and if it's a styled card, for the remainder of combat, all your styled physical attacks are going to do +2 stages of damage and gain hit, lower your opponent's anger 1. Now the anger lower, it's there. I mean, it's going to be a factor, and it's probably to make up for the lack of critical damage effects that you're going to have in your deck. But the main part, of course, is that damage mod. Because personalities that, didn't see a lot of damage early on, like Red Vegeta, Red Turles, are just going to be able to push out some massive numbers early game. The power of this mastery is what I think is the main. Whenever you see a power on a mastery, it's going to be the main portion of the mastery. At least it's going to have some massive effect. Like when you think of blue, yes, it has the, they need 6 anger to level, but the main part of that mastery is that block that you get every combat. And yes, this mastery is going to add a damage mod, but the main portion of this mastery is going to be the consistency that this power is going to give you. Because at any time, you can reveal a card in your hand, and if it's styled, you put it to the bottom, and if it's styled, you can play the top. If the top of your discard pile is an attack, you can play it. So that means if you're taking damage and you happen to see an attack that you want to play, oh, let me just play that attack from the top of my discard pile. If you use an attack in your hand and you want to use that same attack again, as long as it doesn't banish after use, you can do that. There are a lot of cards already coming out that have effects when played from the top of your discard pile. There's one that raises your anger 2. Red is getting an excellent answer to drills and setups by a card that immediately will destroy a drill or setup if it's played from the top of your discard pile. I mean, excellent. And it has hit discard or destroy a setup or drill also. So it can destroy 2. Remember, we wanted that? Red has no answers besides shitty burning aura stance bullshit. Yes, we have that answer now. In my head, I'm just imagining red Turles is gonna be able to double strike. So you're gonna enter combat, you're gonna banish the top card, get +2 stages on everything, and then suddenly, you know, you got the 2 from your power, you got the 2 from your mastery, you're in C bracket on level 1, double strike, 7/7, mastery 7/7. You know, there's 28 damage with just really playing one card and then, you know, giving up a card in your hand. But, you know, 28 damage. Guys, this is going to be a power mastery. It is going to just rape your opponent. It is going to do lots of damage. And you can see that that's the focus of evolution. With the Saiyan Rampaging Mastery, now with the Red Ruthless Mastery, we are pushing out aggro. We control, own the format in, you know, the first 3 sets. You know, we saw the Piccolo Namekian, we saw the Black Krillin, and then the only aggro deck that everyone talked about was, you know, Ginyu, which, let's not get into that. But a lot of aggro decks, and especially a lot of physical aggro decks are going to be able to come out in set 4. So you can see that the main thing that the Saiyan Mastery and the Red Mastery have in common is consistency. Is that you're going to be able to have multiple options in combat, be able to do many things, have many outs, many ways you can attack your opponent. And you know, and if you play tech cards, you're gonna fill a lot of your deck with a lot of different tech cards that are only good in certain situations. And the Red Ruthless Mastery is gonna be able to give you the extra option to use that card. So if it's overturned, if it's in your discard pile, you're gonna be able to dig it out and use it. If it's in your hand, you can use it and then use it again. You're gonna be able to clear the board. You're gonna be able to use the cards you need to use at the time you need to use them. And that's gonna be ruthless. So today's actually my birthday. I'm the tender young age of 28 years old. And I'd just like to thank my sister for getting me this cool Dragon Ball set for my birthday. So thank you, Caitlin. And I'm really excited. I know tonight they're releasing the Blue Mastery, the Blue Tag Team Mastery, which is supposedly gonna combat the ultimate ally hate that is Android 17. I mean, it's the Blue Tag Team Mastery, so it's gonna be ally based. It's gonna have to play allies from the Banish Zone. I can't see any other way that they get around it. It's gonna have to do some sort of manipulation with allies from the Banish Zone, but I can't wait to see the new Goku set. I can't wait to see the new Blue Mastery, and I can't wait to review both those guys. So guys, stay tuned and subscribe, like this video, love, peace and love all around. And see you at Chicago Regional, because you know what, that's where I'll be this weekend. I'll try to release the blue breakdown video before I go to Chicago Regional, but I've been really focused. I want to try to get my world invite, so I plan on top cutting, and I think I might take the W, guys. I like red style. I like red.